Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hi. Are you there? How's it going? We're going to get started. I see that there are some viewers coming in, and that is very exciting. Um, oh boy. Let's see. All right, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, good. I think we got some people now. It looks like we've got 5 people watching, which is great. I want to be sure that you guys know how to ask questions. There should be a field there that you can see where you can add questions while I'm talking. And I see them and I acknowledge them and I answer them to the best of my ability. You can also, in that question field, let me know if you can't hear me. Let me know if I'm talking to myself. Let me know if you need me to repeat something or clarify something. This is only the second Google Hangout that I've done, and it's a really interesting experience for me because I am used to talking to an audience and being able to read their expressions. So it's a different process for sure. It's a different experience. So thank you for coming. I see that we now have 6 people watching from all over the planet, which is really great. I welcome you. I am Liz Rossof. I am the director of Betabrand's think tank, and I am part of a team that selects through our submissions and decides what we put into the think tank. And then it's really up to our audience to decide what we go into production with. And that starts by the voting process, which is in the think tank. I can show you here, should be able to show you here what that looks like. We're going to go over to betabrand.com and take a look-see at the think tank. I know most of you are probably familiar with what the think tank is, but just to give you a good understanding, let's share the screen and I can show you around some things that have been coming up as of late. Just one moment. It's just a couple clicks. Here we go. I want to share this screen over here with you. This is our Betabrand think tank, and it's where all our new design ideas and collaborations start. So you can see we collaborate with people like Catherine Lang, who's done the double take wrap hoodie, as well as bigger companies like 3M. Catherine's doing great with this idea. She's got a brand new product. She's only been in it for a couple of days and she's already got 175 votes. And that's a really great indication to us that that's something that people are interested in. And when we see activity like that, we know that earmark it for production. And when something's earmarked for production, it means that we're going to go ahead and get it costed. We're going to develop it. We're going to create a prototype that we can then put into our crowdfunding. And the crowdfunding is where the consumer starts voting with their dollars. They start paying in advance of the production for the product. And that is where our collaborators make their most money. It's where the collaborating designers get to make 10% of the sales, which is a huge amount. It's a huge share. And that's where most of the orders happen. And then our designers continue to get a revenue share after that 30-day crowdfunding period for the next 335 days. That percentage just goes down to 5%. And the reason that happens is that that's really when our advertising machine kicks in. And because we're an e-com business, we spend a lot of money advertising. So if a product is $80, an $80 shirt, it's quite possible that we're spending $40 a sale just to get people into the store to buy the product. So the fact that our designers get to walk away with 10% during crowdfunding and 5% after that is really incredible, because you also have a team of 70 plus people here at Betabrand who have done all of the development of fabric sourcing, trim sourcing, manufacturing sourcing, product managers going through all of that for you, and also managing, obviously, all of the marketing and fulfillment for you as well. So I'm going to just get to my notes. That's sort of like a big general introduction there. And again, if you're just joining us, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to try to keep my eye on the comment section as well on the page, because I know that sometimes becomes populated with questions. Last time I wasn't keeping an eye on that page, and I was seeing that people were adding questions to that comment section. So I'm going to keep a better eye on that as well. Great. So I'm going to get to my notes and dig deeper into the think tank process and how you can create a awesome submission for us. Again, more people jumping on, joining us, please ask questions in the question field, and I can address and answer them that way. So starting from the top of my notes, we are the first crowdsourced, crowd-funded clothing company. That means that our collaborators make the brand. Our collaborators and our customers together decide what's going to be the new hottest product, what's going to be the new trend. We sort of blow off a little bit the trend forecasters, and we really ask the audience and the creative people like you what should be made. And we have a process of figuring that out by polling and voting and getting our audience to tell us in advance by way of voting in the think tank and buying in the crowdfunding. So I've also placed here some links that should be showing up. Let me just see where that is on here for you. Under the showcase, there should be, whoop, there we go. Here in the showcase, there's some links to Betabrand think tank, to the explanation of what it is, how it works, and also our submit form. It's a really terrible graphic right now, and I apologize. It should be a better graphic tomorrow. So if you're watching a rebroadcast of this later than November 4th, 2015, know that it's a better graphic now. Also, there's these little buttons at the bottom of your screen with a thumbs down and a thumbs up. It's really helpful to me. I can't see them while I'm talking to you, but if you push them, thumbs up, thumbs down, it really helps me have a better read of the audience and what that means, and how you're appreciating something, or if you're not understanding something, or if you think something I said is totally bogus. Use the down. If you like what I'm talking about, use the up. That's a really big help to me, as I can't see your faces. So I'm still looking for where that question and answer key is on here. Meh. Well, maybe you're doing a better job at it than I am. Anyway, So there's the submission links and all those links. So what kind of products are we looking for? Anything that you can wear or carry with you, basically. Clothing and accessories. We make shoes. We make bags. We can make glasses. There's not a lot that we can't make, and we accept women's and men's products. Betabrand is really known for its sort of multifunctionality, its work appropriate and play appropriateness, and if those garments that can kind of exist in a multi-purpose, multi-occasion world that really resonates very, very strongly with our audience. And those have typically been really successful products for us. Right now, we're finding a lot of success with things that are travel. But if you really think about what travel means, when people travel, they want to be comfortable, they want to be organized, and they want to be able to wear something on more than one occasion. So with just sort of those themes, oh, and easy to care for. Also really important. I have a question that's come in. If I've submitted an idea that has received votes as well as comments and sections for revisions, is there a process for submitting a revised design without starting from scratch? Shanna, awesome. Yes, absolutely. That is totally part of our development process, in fact. We work very closely, and we're getting much better at working with the collaborating designer on those sorts of changes and suggestions that come in from our audience. And we will have several iterations of a project, even in the form of sketches, by updating the people who voted for the product. There was a product that unfortunately wasn't successful once it got to crowdfunding. It might have been the time of year that we were selling it. It's a summer dress, and we were trying to sell it at the end of summer. We're still figuring out why it wasn't a total hit, because it was super popular in the voting. And the silhouette of the dress was actually up for discussion and polling. And we did update those slides, and we got response and really crafted things based on the suggestions from the audience. Also, really, our whole sort of travel collection world came out of suggestions from our viewers, our audience, our community. We had one product there that was just kind of like so-so, not really feeling it. And then we started asking people more questions. Well, like, what would make this travel themed pant better? And the conversation took us to know, like, they actually just wanted travel clothes, not something that was a print that was inspired by traveling around the world, but actually, like, not an athletic item. It turned into travel cargo pants, which turned into travel everything you can possibly think of. So I hope that helps. We definitely really rely on our audience to give us really good information, and it's really very helpful. So yes, and if you want to do those updates and graphics, that's awesome. We certainly are in communication with our designers and say, like, hey, if you've been reading the comments, people really want to see this in purple, not yellow. What do you think? And we'll send out a poll, and then we'll update it with purple if more people tell us they want it purple than yellow, or if they want it in a different fabric, etc. Because ultimately, we want to sell a lot of units, and I hope you do too. So sometimes those artistic choices that creative people make need to be amended to fit the demand of the market. And generally, everyone's on board, because if we're selling more units, we're all making more money, and that's keeping the lights on. So yes. Okay, great. Anyway, I'm glad that the question submission button is working. And I'm going to go back to my notes here. So what makes a great submission? Really clear explanation of the problem that the garment solves. So, and a wonderful title. Like right now, we have things like the hangover hoodie. I'll share the screen with you again. Hold on one moment. Um, things like, the travel dress suit that's obviously telling you exactly what it does. It's going to make your life easier. You're going to get all these looks out of one. Really having a fun story, like even here, the jump around. We make quarter rounds. Awesome, Shanna. Thank you so much. So we make quarter rounds. That was the first product that Betabrand started with. Our CEO and founder is a comedy TV writer, and he wanted to make corduroy pants where the whale went horizontally instead of vertically. He called them quarter rounds. He sold them out of the back of his car, out of his basement, wherever he could, created these hilarious emails. And it just really took off, and that's the product that launched this whole company. So this woman, Julie, who I think may be in the audience tonight. If not, I bet she's going to be watching it tomorrow. She's awesome. She was like, let's take the corduroy and make a jumper. It's super cute. So great story. It's not exactly solving a utilitarian question, but it does solve this. It does tell a great story and positions it wonderfully. The no sweat cocktail dress. This is awesome. Jennifer Cody entered it. And it really is launching like a whole area for us, which is using performance fabrics in formal wear that we're calling performal. It's the idea of she's a wedding photographer, so she's like running around and sweating in the heat at these outdoor weddings in the summertime, and making a really attractive wedding appropriate dress that was also wick away and antimicrobial and not going to stink up is really awesome. So it's presenting the problem like, how do I stay cool, calm, and stink free at a sweltering summer wedding, and proposes this excellent solution at the same time. Sometimes things are just really great looking, and they can, with the proper story and positioning, can also get a lot of really wonderful votes. Like, here's something that I put up. I'm going to plug my own thing here. Go to the think tank and vote for it. Oh, hey, vote. Oh, you got to log in to vote. Okay. So it's, the two-faced tank. So it's really just it's a double face knit, super simple. Let's make a tank and minimize the number of outfits that you have to have in your closet. Things like that, things that tell a great story. The Nehru-inspired trench coat, this just went up like hours ago. Totally beautiful concept. It's an Indian American woman who has grown up, idolizing the men, mostly like formally wearing the Nehru, and has designed these women's trench coats around that design. Totally fascinating story there. So the successful products in the think tank and in the crowdfunding and just at Betabrand in general usually tell a great story and create and solve a problem all at once, or propose and solve a problem all at once. Another reason that things succeed, or a major reason that things succeed, is that you as the collaborating designer make it your job to let everyone you know and everyone you've ever known that knows somebody know that you are in the think tank with this great idea, and you need people to go vote for them. You need the support. Just let people know, because when we see through votes and comments that something is gaining traction, that's when we know that it could be a hit for us. If it just sits there and doesn't get any votes, we can't put any attention to it. People also ask me how many votes, what's the finish line? What do you have to, how many votes do you have to obtain to get on the production timeline, to get on the development timeline? And the truth of the matter is, there really isn't a set number. There's two major things. you've got to be a little bit in competition with everybody else in the think tank, because if you have 500 votes and something goes up and all of a sudden they have 1,200 votes, like our bandwidth, our attention goes to this thing that came out of nowhere and is super popular. Like, we have to respond to the community that way. Like, we're still very interested in the thing that's getting many hundreds of votes, but if there's something that has like that sense of urgency and that velocity of interest, we have to put our energy toward that. Just a question coming in. Has Betabrand ever carried children's clothing? If not, is that something that we would consider? So the only children's clothing we've ever done is our baby disco pants. Children's clothing is an incredible area, and we get asked this question all the time. And the immediate answer is no. For a variety of reasons, a lot of that being like the regulations around children's clothing, the fire resistance things and all of this. And also, we're still a pretty small company. We have 70 people managing a whole lot of information, and right now it's not an area that we're ready to put a focused quality amount of concentration into. That being said, it's not completely off the radar. It's just not in the immediate future. I hope that helps. We still want to know what your ideas are, though, because if the day comes when we have a children's product, we actually have like a whole log of people that we want to get in contact with, because we've had some really wonderful ideas come in. And we've had some children's ideas come in, actually, that we were able to reposition and think about how it could fit a need for adults as well. So back to the earmarking for development. There's no magic number for how many votes you need to get earmarked for development. Again, it's really just being in contest. You want to be on top. You want to be on top in the think tank for sure. And then once something is earmarked for development, the process really varies according to the complexity of the garment, the development complexity, as well as like the needs of our merchandisers. So if we have like 7 maxi dresses that have been earmarked, like they're great, people are really interested in it, we don't want them all to come out at the same time. So we might stagger them, or they're different design details. Some may be more complex than others, so it could take longer in the development time. A question that I had last time was, would the products be made out of the same quality as the original sample? And that's for people who are actually submitting samples. We don't require that you have a prototype or sample made, but I know a lot of people, especially people who have had their own career in design for a while, do have prototypes, and that's awesome. We will take submissions that are as simple as a couple sentences to something that's like really complex, already has its tech pack, already has its everything. We still have to do our own tech pack. We still have to do our own sourcing. We may not be able to find exactly the same material that you had in mind, but we want to come as close to your original concept as possible. And that's an open dialogue for sure. We need to really consider, the sourcing, availability, as well as the price and the functionality of the fabric. So there's conversations that happen around that. Sorry, so there's a question from Josh. Can finished samples be shown or just concept? Oh yeah, so this is the same question basically. Yeah, either. You can submit sketches and you can submit finished samples. All of it's great. In fact, if you have both, send both. We will choose like what is actually the strongest in presentation, or we might tease it out a little bit, like give people a taste of the sketch and see how they like it, and then give them a little bit more with the photography, and update that as we develop, as our development cycle may take it in a slightly different direction in terms of the fabric or the color, etc. There's some really funky light stuff that happens here. Do you see those funny lights, reflections here? Maybe I can. Oh, this is a beautiful Betabrand offices, by the way. Welcome. Welcome to the Betabrand world. Um, so let me get back to my notes. Uh, here we go. Okay, so just in terms of the quality of the garments and everything, will the quality of the garment be in line with our brand's established quality? And that is absolutely, it is your design. You are featured as the designer. Your name and story follow the design all over our website, but ultimately we are responsible for the quality. We're the ones that are handling returns. We're the ones who want the people that you've designed for to come back to us and buy future designs from you, as well as the designs that other people, other collaborators are bringing to the site. So yes, we do the quality control, and absolutely. Once we have the garment developed and costed for manufacturing through our channels, we want, as best as we can, to get the collaborating designer to appear in the gallery when it comes time to crowdfund. So if you've designed a coat, we want you to do a video, and those are assets that you could send to us. We'll send you the coat. If you can find a model, or if you can fit the coat and show it yourself, that's fantastic. If you're anywhere near the Bay Area, come on by. We can shoot that in-house. If you check out our YouTube channel, you can see that we have a lot of wonderful collaborating designer features, sort of like behind the scenes of them, and their ideas about the development and the process. It's really great. Here we go. So Josh, excellent question. He tends to use leathers and silks. If voted for, would my designs be made of those materials? I don't mind faux and synthetic, just want to know. Great. That is actually really interesting, Josh. And that is something that we would probably hope to find a synthetic or faux alternative to keep our price point within the budget of what we know our audience to be. However, there's nothing stopping us really from polling our audience and asking them, like, we could potentially present them two options. Here's the one with leather. Here's the one with a synthetic. Here's the price difference. Which one would you want? And so I know that that's not like a solid answer, but there really aren't ever like super solid answers here. We're pretty flexible and open to trying things out. We wouldn't want to set you up to fail. That's the number one thing. Nobody wants to spend a lot of time on this and then have it not work out on the end. We want to go forward with things that are successful, and that's a really delicate balance between the vision of our collaborator, what we can manufacture and source in a way that is not super cumbersome, and deliver in a price point that our audience is going to respond really well. So yeah, we're going to look into alternatives for the price point, but ultimately it could be an option that we offer our audience, our community, for their feedback. But generally speaking, like, you can go on our website and you'll see that where our price points lie, and you'll know, like, we're not selling $300 dresses. We're not selling $250 dresses. Like, we can sell a $140 dress probably, but we're going to be able to sell a $110 dress a lot easier. Okay, let's come back to this. Yeah, so we want to feature you. We want to talk about you. We want to showcase you. We want to have a video with you in it. We want you in the pictures. We want you. We want to link back to your bio, to your site, to your Instagram, whatever you have in your bio. So if you have a similar product that you're making under your own label or that you have on an Etsy or something like that, we just ask that that product is removed while it's on our site. You totally still own that product. If you decide that we all decide it's not going anywhere in the think tank, take it off. You can put it back on, not a problem. If you have a product that is similar but different enough, like for example, Lea Liera does the vice versa cape with us. It's a cape and a skirt. We again used, faux leather. Actually, I think we ended up actually using a very heavy canvas tabs instead of leather. She has it on her site with leather and brass rings and all of this really, super high-end trims, and but she sells it on her website in a different colorway and for like 40% more than we sell it for. And that's okay. It's really not in direct competition with what we offer from her. So once we've got the crowdfunding date set, this is when things really start ramping up for our collaborator in terms of them getting the word out. Like we would send emails to the people who voted for it on your behalf, saying like, hey, get ready, my product is coming, mark your calendars, in 5 days you're going to have your first opportunity to buy it. The people who vote get the first opportunity to buy the product, which also means in crowdfunding that they have the opportunity for the deepest discount. So that's also very exciting for them. There are some products that we've built up enough anticipation that like people are like scrambling to get into the 30% off tier, which can be anywhere from like the first 5 to 15 purchases, depending on what the crowdfunding minimum is. It's also where our collaborators, as I said before, make the most amount of money, because it's when you're getting 10% of all the sales, which is phenomenal. Melissa Fleece, who did her all-day coat with us, she made about $9,000 in 1 month off one design. And I know you guys work really hard, but like one design in 1 month, $9,000. That's incredible. I mean, most designers who are working for a bigger brand don't get paid any kind of sales commission, revenue share on their products, and they're churning out 5 to 10 designs a week, and that's just for flat salary. So, we have people spending, I think this year, people are going to be spending about $6 million in our crowdfunding campaign. So 10% of that is going to designers, and there's really no limit to how much of that piece you get. Just keep putting more designs out there that people respond to, and you can really like this. We're hoping that this becomes people's full-time job in the next couple of years for sure. And it's not just like, oh, I made $9,000 off of one product one time. It's like we want it to keep coming, keep making the money, keep putting money in your pocket and allowing you to just design and let us handle all the grunt work. So as I said, during crowdfunding is a time when you guys are making the biggest percentage of sales, and then it goes down to 5% for the other 335 days of that year. And again, I'll reiterate why that number gets lowered, and that's because of our marketing and infrastructure. We spend a ton of money on advertising. Sometimes it's up to half of what we're selling something for, and then we've got all our people to pay. So you're making more money than anybody. You're still making more money than any one person is making on the product. That is for darn sure. And we also want you to get your next product to us. Like we want you to we want 12 products a year, so you're getting that 10% every month. Like, how that would be super exciting for us and for you. And another question was, what are the price points that sell best on the site? And again, you can look through that, but like, we like to keep our pants between $90 and $120. We keep our jackets, hoodies, you know, between $150 and $180. We have some coats. Melissa's all day coat is $220. We have the space jacket, which I think is $340. That was like a lot of development, and we had to quilt Tyvek, which isn't a very easy thing to get done. Not a lot of quilting a Tyvek out there, but it looks really nice when it's done. Shirts are, you know, $80 to $90. Dresses, again, $90 to $120. That's about, you know, where we're finding these sweet spots. It doesn't mean that we can't go up or down. It just means that, like, that's kind of where we're gauging a really good read from our audience at this point in time. We're always looking for reasons to do other things and try other things. So, oh, good. I see you guys are using your buttons. Makes me really happy. It helps me for the next one. Please feel free to ask some questions. Let me know if you're finding the question box. I still don't see it. Maybe you have to, well, I don't know how to ask the questions, but someone else has been asking a question. So maybe you can tell me where the question box is. Oh, maybe you just press question. Nope. I still don't figure it out. Well, anyway, are there questions? It's a lot of information that I've given you. I'm here to help, advise. You can always email me, liz@betabrand.com. I started these Hangouts because I was having so many individual conversations with people that my voice was going out. And so this actually saves me, you know, we've had 12 viewers at times here during this, so I feel like it saves me 12 hours of time to talk to everybody. At the same time, I know you all have your own questions that I'd love to address. So I'm liz@betabrand.com. You can also reach my whole team at tt@betabrand.com. It says, another question came in, a good question. Does Betabrand give preference to products that are more sustainable than others? I'm going to assume that you're talking about environmental sustainability. If you're not talking about environmental sustainability, then let me know. And I wouldn't say that we give a more preference to more sustainable products, but it's certainly a great part of the story and something that is a concern, you know, any conscious person in the world these days. So in that way, yes, I mean, our whole process is sort of environmental because we're not making product that we haven't already sold or that we yes, environmental and social. So good questions. I'm glad you brought up the social as well, because that is actually quite top of mind in our quality control and our production. But yes, so the big picture answer is no on the environmental, but sustainability, but we're not making products that we don't know that we're selling. So we're not wasting, you know, we're not like big companies that are just sitting on literally tons of fabric and tons of product that isn't getting worn, or ends up being incinerated or trashed or otherwise disposed of. in terms of social, we do our manufacturing for first rounds of products or products that we're going to sell like less than 400 units at a time here in San Francisco, and we're quite strict about the sew shops that we use. There are fewer and fewer sew shops in San Francisco. And there are a couple that we don't work with because we don't agree with their labor practices. Same abroad. We have really vigilant people. We're not in Bangladesh. We're mostly abroad in South Korea, mainland, and Thailand, I believe. So yeah, we're pretty we really pride ourselves, and our production team is led by a veteran of the industry who has a ton of experience both locally and abroad, and who is quite concerned about the employees and labor practices of the manufacturers that we work with. So thank you for also clarifying that you were talking about social. Another question here, can we submit more than one design if it's in different categories? Well, Josh, you can submit more than one design that's even in the same category. You can submit as many designs as you possibly want. Keep them coming. Submit, 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 submit. Submit just like you wake up on a Tuesday morning and you're like, oh, I think I have a good idea. I'm going to send it in to Liz and see what she thinks. And then together we can sort of like, thread it out. Like, let's position this. Let's find out what this is about. So yes, absolutely. Every garment is its own story and its own product and is sold on its own. We are doing some suit sets and that kind of thing, but we never like launch capsules. We're not going to have a runway show where it's like the same color, same fabric, same structure, same story between all of them. We end up with like similar things, like our Work It collection, our West Coast workwear. Like they become kind of like capsules. They're sort of like sub brands, but they come together because of their purpose and their story and their likeness and their functionality, more than coming together like with an intention of like, we're gonna go out and make red plaid everything. Does that make sense? I hope so. Hope that makes sense. You guys are all sitting there like, yes, it makes sense. I can't see you. um, so, yeah, any more questions? I'm going to pause because I know this is on like a few seconds delay. So I'm going to pause and maybe I will show a video. Hold on, stay with me. I'm going to pull up a video for you to watch. It's a designer feature. Oh, here we go. It's Melissa's design feature that I think is really a really great, a really good one. Let's see here. I'll share it with you. Here we go. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, that was a little bit of a technical difficulty there. But that's what you can see there for our whoop, it's still talking to me. What you can see for our sort of designer spotlights. Oh, this is not hearing any sound with the video. Blah, that sucks. So sorry. Um, that's terrible. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Wonder if I can just I'm gonna link for you our YouTube channel, and then you guys can explore it on your own at your leisure. Really fun videos on there. Let's see. Hopefully that will show up for you. And you can see all the, you might have to, oops. Why? There we go. It should have shown up now. That's a link to our YouTube channel where there's a lot of great videos. All of the content in our videos, you'll see like base jumpers and all of this insane, like extreme sports stuff. We didn't pay for any of that footage. Those are all our collaborating customers. They're collaborating model citizens. A huge part of our culture is to have people submit their photographs wearing and video of them doing wonderful things in our clothing. We have a catalog of 60,000, I think, model citizen images. It's started since the beginning of the company, and it's really created this sense of community and loyalty with the brand, which is amazing. It's a really insanely supportive and exciting way to feel at a company, a clothing company, where people get so excited to get their new products and to get the feedback from the organization. I'm on the BART train here in San Francisco, or I've been in New York where I see someone with our cornucopia bag or our pinstriped executive hoodie, and I say, oh, hey, nice pinstriped executive hoodie you've got there. And they'll be like, oh, wow, it's Betabrand. And I say, oh, yeah, well, I work for the company. And they just get so excited. And I was talking to a designer recently who was talking to me about the satisfaction of seeing his designs out in the world. He works for a bigger clothing company here in San Francisco, and he's nameless. He probably designed a jean jacket that you might own, or some kind of cool denim product that could be in your closet. And when he sees people out in the world, he's like, there's a lot of pride to him that, like, oh yeah, I made that. But no one's going to know that he made that. Where in this circumstance, had he made that product with Betabrand, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm the guy that designed that. And then they say, oh yeah, I remember reading about you or seeing your picture in the gallery or going to your website when I had an interest in this, or seeing you in the video, or sometimes people get recognized. We have this guy who did the Suitsy, Jesse Herzog. Like, people recognize him all the time because he was on Good Morning America. He was on Good Morning America 48 hours after his product was introduced, just in the think tank. We have such a strong reaction from the press to his Suitsie in the think tank that Good Morning America flew him out from San Francisco and put him on their show to talk about the product. He had a sample ready to go. It's like a one-piece suit. It just zips right up from the crotch of the pant to the top of the neck. And it was like instant fame, like really fun and silly and obviously super exciting for him. And we made it. We made that product, and we're continuing to make it and continuing to sell it. So I'm going to wrap this up if there aren't any more questions. And if there are questions that I didn't get to, please, please, please email me at liz@betabrand.com and let me know what you need. We're here for you. We want to support you. We want to get your ideas out into the world. One design at a time, but send me 12 if you've got them. Just send them to me in different emails with different subject lines so I can keep them organized in my files. Yep, I think you all received an email from me that sort of gave an outline. If not, let me know. I can send you that document, not a problem. And do let me know. And this is always the hardest part. Saying goodbye is always the hardest part. And then saying goodbye and not being able to see you, be like, bye, is even more challenging because I'm like, there's still 8 people watching. How can I say goodbye? I'm not going to hang up. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Anyway, I really very much appreciate you tuning in, and feel free to reach out. And I look forward to seeing your designs in the think tank very, very soon. So thank you. Good night. Sleep well.